Welcome to my show, the Honest Field Guide podcast, where I feature intimate conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners, sharing their origin stories, startup strategies, and the unexpected discoveries they make on the road to success. My name is JinJa Birkenbeuel, and I'm your host. Please join me this month for my very special edition of the Honest Field Guide Italia. I traveled to Italy during the height of their tourist season to learn from some of the most dazzling Italian entrepreneurs and business owners who focus their creative energy on excellence, beauty, and patience to make their businesses thrive. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my show, the Honest Field Guide podcast. I am JinJa Birkenbeuel. I am the host, and I'm so excited to be here because I am in Florence, Italy, and I'm having definitely the time of my life because I am meeting so many entrepreneurs, creatives, business owners. It's very, very different, and I was not expecting this at all. Today, I'm actually sitting in a beautiful shop with a beautiful artisan who makes beautiful jewelry, Giampiero Alcozer, and of course, I'm probably not pronouncing the name perfectly because I'm learning Italian a little bit, but I'm excited to be here because yesterday I was coming back from the museum. I had just seen, Caravaggio, Michelangelo, and I was like full of, ideas and life and passion and creativity. And I was walking down the street and there's shops everywhere, but something about this particular shop, I stopped and I looked in the window and I thought, wow, what is this beautiful jewelry? And it's very large and it just spoke to me. So I walked in and I was greeted by this wonderful woman, and immediately she and I hit it off, and she is someone who works at the shop. Leda, she's wonderful. We talked for an hour, and I did buy a beautiful pair of earrings, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to talk with the owner now and the designer and the artist to find out where he gets his inspiration, why he started his brand, and more. And good morning.
Good morning.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, signora.
I feel like we should be having, a glass of white wine or Prosecco, but we're not because it's too early. I know, but I feel like so far that I've been in Italy, all I want...
Prosecco for the lady.
No. All I want to do is drink wine when I'm here. So thank you for having me this morning because this was sort of, very impromptu.
It was a very big sacrifice. Yeah.
It was a big sacrifice.
For me.
I come in the shop and I love the colors. I love the contrast between the dark walls and the beautiful pieces. And the first thing I asked Leda was, are these all made by hand? And are they crafted individually? Are the stones placed? And she said yes, and I thought, oh my goodness. So can you talk a little bit about your process for making these beautiful pieces, and what is the theme around the pieces that you make?
Each piece is made by hand, first of all. Second, and all the stones are different, one buried from the other, and they are carved by my team. Almost each morning, we will each other together, and we decide what kind of jewelry we're going to do. And for example, we give a style or a story or a movie, and I just give them some suggestions, but they are totally free to create the jewels. And the process is a little bit complicated, but I can say it in a few words. First of all, it's carved with wax. It's carved with wax, and then with the procedure of the lost wax. That means that the wax become metal. It follows with this shape. We give a shape to the wax. We give the story. We put the stone. We calibrate the wax to the stone, and then we take off the stone. And this piece of wax goes to another process that means the lost wax. This wax will become metal. The metal afterwards is clean, worked again, and then dropped in gold. After these procedures, you fix the different stones, and we create a jewel. But each jewel is different from the other, because otherwise it would be very boring.
Okay.
And I'm very proud of it, because in 32 years I never done one jewel the same to the other. We create about 2,600 jewels a month, and all different. But there is the classic collection, which is a repeatable collection. But for the rest, which is the 70% of the production, they are all unique pieces. And this is the way that we survived after 32 years. And we crossed all kinds of wars, of cold, of everything. Well, we are still alive.
You're a metal worker. So how would you describe yourself to a person that doesn't know jewelry?
It's very complicated, because first of all, I started since I was very small. The real work started at 33 years old, but at the beginning I was singing, playing, painting, sculpting. I did everything, but nothing very well. So around 30 years old, I decided that maybe I should do something well. So I said, okay, I have to choose. And it was a calculation. I said, okay, music, it's impossible, because I'm not so good. I like music, but I'm not so good. Painting, there are someone that are better than me. And then sculpting, why not? But the sculptures are very big, so I say I must do something that I can create immediately, that doesn't need a long time to be finished. And I started with jewels. Without school, because I tried to go to different, to visit different places where we were creating jewels in Florence, and they all refused me because I was too big, too old, because they had no time, and I said, okay, I start alone. And I went in a shop that was selling all the materiali per produrre
stuff for producing.
For producing jewels. And I was spending all my mornings looking at what the other was buying. And then at the end of the day, I was saying, okay, I want this, and this. I was going back in my cave, because I rented a cave for 2 years. And now what I have to do with this? And slowly, I started to create and to solve with fire. And I've done my first jewels, and I noticed that these jewels were interesting, and people wanted to buy them. So I said, why not? And so I got my first employee, a second, and after 3 months we were 9 persons under the cave. And then so I decided to find a place with the open air.
Okay.
And after 10 days, I found a very nice place, and then we became officially a band.
Only a band?
A small band.
I love that. I love that you put that music. Everybody knows about me and music, so I love that he said we put the band together. But let me ask you. So, just going back a little bit,
Yeah.
You were a little child.
Yes.
Where did you grow up?
In Africa.
And were your parents artists? Were they entrepreneurs?
No, my parents weren't artists. They were very normal people. My father was working for an airline, and I always thank him, because he let me spend 17 years of my life in Africa, and we all traveled in all the many places: Nigeria, Ethiopia, Cameroon, Nigeria, and I changed school and houses and friends for 17 years. But they were normal. They were my father was he studied to be a lawyer. Okay, he wasn't really a lawyer, but for them to have an artist at home, it was terrible. It was
It was a nightmare.
nightmare.
Really?
So what is he going to do?
Okay,
Yeah.
not make a
And
living.
so they were begging me, please, you must do politics, you must do language, you must do something, but not this cinema, even cinema if you want. So I studied cinema, I studied politics, but it wasn't possible for me because it was too much. And after 3 or 4 months, I was leaving one kind of study and starting another one. And then
So did you go to university at all?
no, not for this. No,
For
I've been in many university. I think
Okay.
it's nothing. I
You finished nothing?
3 exams and
You know what?
stuff.
I love this. I love
Nothing.
this. You don't have to go to college and be successful. I mean, look where I am right here.
No.
There's a huge
For
successful
this,
jewelry
for-
brand.
I did not study jewelry, nothing. Now I'm very proud because many professional jewelers copy me. So it's funny.
I was just thinking, being in Italy, that there's so much art here. If you're an artist, it seems like the standard is just so high. Like, because you were saying to yourself, I can't be a sculptor, I can't be a painter. I almost feel like, is that because there was so much existing beauty around you that you were holding yourself to such a high standard you couldn't figure it out?
Okay, it's true that when I was in Africa, I was doing I was carving wood or ivory at the beginning. I started at 9 years old.
9.
I was doing earrings, but at the same time, when I arrived in Florence, I was shocked by the art that was here.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure, there is an influence of art very, very, very strong here. In another town would have been different, but here it was. I arrived here 40 years ago. And it was the first time you arrived, and you see it was rain. It was raining. It was 7 o'clock in the afternoon, almost night, and I arrived in the Duomo Square.
Yes.
What is this? What is this? Again, walking around the hotel of where staying my parents was in the other side of the town. So I had to cross walking all the time, and I was shocked, really shocked. And I say, okay, I was living in Paris at that moment, and I said, no, I must live here, because this town was full of small artists, places. They were walking in front of you in the windows. Most of the other shops were not like today. There were people working in front of you with these hands and doing the beautiful things.
And how old were you?
Sorry?
How old were you then?
I was 22, 23.
Wow. Okay.
And I said, no, it's too nice. Today is different. Today, all the towns are the same.
Yeah.
The shops are all the same, they are all the same brands, and it would be, maybe I don't know if I would like to stay in Florence. Okay, Florence, it's always beautiful, but the urban, all the shops, they totally changed.
So it sounded like you started your brands when you were 30.
33.
A lot of people, they start realizing who they are earlier.
But for me it was difficult because
Okay.
I was working a line, so I studied many things. I worked all over, and I worked for 6 years in a company, a line, a Brazilian line, and it doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I was earning a lot of money for it. So young, I was here, and all my friends would say, "Are you crazy? You want to kick this job? But why? There are people would pay to get it." I don't like it. I was spending 8 hours of my time in front of a computer, but there were no internet
Yes.
on doors, only green line, and I could make reservation. For me, it was like a prison.
A green line.
Yeah, a green line that right on the screen on the black. So when the line failed, I was the happiest employee of the company, because for me it was okay. They gave me some money. I finished it in 6 months, and after 6 months I said, okay, how am I going to eat now? And from that moment I was happy, and I was very happy. I was forced to become an entrepreneur because I made many mistakes, but many mistakes, because at the beginning all my friends were working for me, and I lost them, all of them. because you cannot work with your friend.
No.
You must be. You cannot be a brother. You cannot be a father. You must be a boss. So that's why they call me the boss. We are laughing. We have a very good relation with all my employees, but I'm the boss.
There's something unique about the artist that also has the entrepreneurial spirit and drive, because a lot of artists, it's difficult for artists to have a business sense, to have an understanding of how to make a brand, right?
Because there is both.
There is
I'm an
not
artist, but at the same time, I'm a little entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And even because I transmit the love, this passion that I have and still have after I'm 64 now. But I feel always like I'm 33 because I have this enthusiasm that doesn't die. Each day I create alone about 30 new pieces. If I'm not out for the weekend, I have to go to work. This is the problem, because my work is my hobby. Now there is a problem because I started to play music again, and I'm a producer, all the programs and electronic music. I like it, I love it. But I do it in my free time. My free time is very short.
Yeah.
Because I love to spend my free time creating jewels. So if I have to live for a weekend, okay, I go. Otherwise, I stay in my place. I live and I work in the same place, and I transmit them to all my employees this passion, because in my atelier they are not
Workers.
They are not classic workers. They are all small artists, and maybe they cannot open their own brand because they have maybe some fear. In Italy, it's very, very complicated to be an entrepreneur. It's very difficult. But because there is no work, so you must invent it.
In the United States, the entrepreneur is not as obvious and visible. A lot of us work on our kitchen table or work in our room, and we're not out there. Most of the people that you see work for someone else. They work for a large company. They work in the store. What I noticed about Italy was, since I've been here, and I've been to Milan, Florence, there's more of you.
For big brand, but
Yeah.
I refuse.
You refuse.
At the beginning, I started and I was for big stylists, and I understood that I could not be the slave to anyone.
So I have a story. I always tell my children, I'm like, you can either be an artist or you can be a slave. I tell them that since they were a baby. That's my philosophy. I'm serious, because if you're not in a position, if you're not creating, what are you doing?
If you love it, life is only very short.
Yeah.
Because you love it, so you don't suffer each day. You don't wake up and you don't suffer that you have to take the car and go and spend 8 hours of your day in a place that you don't like, and to do things that you don't like. When you love your job, you are the luckiest person.
Everything's amazing. You have some large pieces and you have some small pieces. You have large stones, little tiny stones. Where do you go for inspiration? How do you get inspired?
I travel. Doesn't mean that I have to go and travel and go to a museum no. I travel. If I go to the seaside, I can see a shell and say, I should find all the sand. Or creation is when you feel well, and I travel. I go out. I watch. I'm very curious. So if you walk with the street in a shopping area, it's a disaster, because I stopped at every store, and I have to lift everything. So I'm very curious, and curiosity is a bread for me.
What about colors?
I don't fix myself on nature. I like unconventional objects. It doesn't mean that it must be a stone. It must be an unconventional object. And I like to find unconventional materials to create jewels. Of course, it's easier for me to travel, to go in Africa or in Thailand. It's easier for me to go and to buy stones. It's the way to paint ceramic, and this is ceramic. And I like to create all kind of jewelry. Of course, I use stones because at the same time, I must be an entrepreneur. So not everybody can understand and can like a ceramic necklace. So I'm obliged to use amethyst or garnets or topaz or aquamarine.
And I love garnets. We were talking about that yesterday.
And I have to be even an entrepreneur. So I use the stones, but I call it a nice arrays.
So talk about the spider, the frog, the owl, the dragonfly.
The frog is my symbol. Maybe my first jewel was a frog. Yeah. And then we started to recognize me with this frog, with the frog with the crown. And even in my perfume there is the frog, and it's called amphibian. And frogs are everywhere. For example, this is my dancing frog, one of the bestsellers of the classic collection, the repeatable one.
And it's made with, it has pearls and little, what is that?
Pearls, diamonds, and Swarovski. Of course, I cannot use real diamonds.
Sure.
But the frog for me was the...
Why can't you use real diamonds? Just I don't know what you mean by that.
Diamonds...
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yes, that's it, but at the same time, they are not man's best friend.
Why did you decide to name your brand after your name? Why didn't you name it something else?
It was something good, because it seems like I invented this name. It's not a conventional name, and it's maybe for you, of course, you don't notice it because you're coming from the United States, but in Italy, Alcozer, it's something, a story, something magic, and mostly of my customer, when they understand that it's my family names, I see, and because I don't have to search very far to find the name of the brand, and it was easier for me. Jerry was my associate of years ago, and we were two. And she was my first girlfriend, and I decided to call Alcozer J. And after she quit, but for respect, I left the J. That's why, for example, this shop is called my entire name, J Son, and it's Giampiero Alcozer.
It turned into your brand at what point in time?
The 2 years, we were about 36 employees.
How did you balance or manage your creative vision along with running a business? Because you're saying after 2.5 years, you had 36 employees?
Mm-hmm. This was too much.
That's stunning.
That's why I risked a lot. Because at the same time, I have no idea of how business was going.
So who was buying your pieces and how did they find you?
Everybody. It's incredible. First, now in these right moments, mostly are strangers. So that means that they come from Russia, China,
you mean now?
Japan, or the United States.
But you're established now. I missed you at the beginning.
I started with the Italians.
Okay.
Many Italians love this piece, but the Italians 30 years ago they had more money.
Sure, everybody did.
No.
We all had more money 30 years ago.
We have to buy bread,
Yeah.
But,
toothpaste.
But before 30 years ago we had more money, so we buy this kind of jewels.
So did you have a shop with a window and people walked by and saw it, or was it more like you were having friends?
At the beginning, I was making many fairs. I started with flea markets. We started with the small. I was arriving at 7 o'clock in the morning alone, and I had a small booth. I was making my story, and at 9 o'clock in the morning, the customer was starting to come. And I was selling like this. I was making very little money, and I was calling my father. I said, "Daddy, I've done $300." I said, and he was telling me, "Oh, yeah, very nice." And then he was desperate but I was happy even for $300.
Yes.
And one day they asked me if I wanted to make a small fair in Rome. I said, "Why not?" They were organizing a small fair, a free market in Rome. And I said, okay, I will come. And I went for the first time in the magic town of Rome. And my parents were living in Rome. And I told them, okay, I go now early. And you can come at 10 when everything is fixed. So we spend the time together. When they arrived, they saw me. I was sitting on a chair like this with a smile from here to here. I said, what happened? I sold everything.
They got there was nothing left.
Everything.
Your parents were like, what is this? What kind of job is this?
I sold everything. I said, but how? I said, I don't know. Two shops came.
They cleaned you out.
And they fight together to buying everything.
And was that the first time that happened to you?
And then I had the second, third, fourth. And the second time, I said, okay, now I have to produce more. So I engaged 2 employees. When I started, and they said, I need to make more pieces because I have a small box and now I have to go next month. And then we worked night and day and we made 3 boxes, for example. I arrived, the same story in that place, and I sold everything.
Wow.
Making 10 times more than the first time.
Do you remember the first piece you sold ever?
It was an earring with 2 small angels with a pearl in the ear. And that was my first sale.
Have you ever made that piece since?
Oh yes, always.
You
I have a
always
show. I cannot tell you the name and what is the country, but she was buying from me only that kind of earring, and she was buying for example 30 pairs of that earring, and one day after years she said, I bought the house with your angels.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? That she was, for example, she was buying for 100. And she was selling at 1,000 wine.
Oh my God.
12 times more what she was paying. That's why she bought her.
When did you know that she was selling your work for 10 times your price?
After that, she bought her house.
But but when she told you that, did you raise your prices?
No, I cannot raise them. I always sell them at the same time. We raise the prices only when there is an augmentation of stone of the 5%, 6%, but not in that.
But this is early in your career. This is when you were starting out, right? Because if I found out someone was selling my stuff for 10 times the price, I think I might freak out a little bit, and I would say
she was buying me. She was paying
I got
me.
you.
So when you pay me,
it's an exchange. It's an exchange, exactly. It's commerce. So your brand, you've expanded, right? So you have perfume now. You have a beautiful bag. Can I have one of these? Can I see one of the bags? You made bags. So talk to me about how when did it start in your mind to say, I can do more than this? Because this is more than this, right? This is beautiful. Why?
Yes, there is an unconventional bag with it. Because
did you decide to make a bag?
I decided to make a bag, but unconventional, because this bag is very elegant.
Yeah, I love it. I want it. I can't
but
afford
inside,
it.
you have it's done with recycled plastic.
I didn't even know that.
It's all recycled, and that's why you can.
Sustainability. I love this, and this is leather.
And the nice of this bag is that the day you destroy the bag.
One of the things that's hard for entrepreneurs is to extend their brand to other things, right? They have one thing and they're stuck. What gave you the confidence to say, I'm going to try something new? And I know you said earlier you're curious. You don't have the confidence.
We're always scared because you would like to do everything, but at the same time,
it's really beautiful.
when they know you for this kind of stuff, for the people it's very complicated. For example, to buy a bag or to buy a perfume. But a perfume is è una conferma, how you say?
It's a confirmation.
A confirmation.
Perfume is a confirmation?
When you do a perfume or you do a bag, it's a confirmation. That means I do it. It's not sure that I'm going to sell it.
Okay.
But I want to do it.
Yeah.
It means that you are not. You're not in the figures. And and sometimes it works because we are selling the perfume very well. It's a very good perfume. I use it each morning. I started with the artisan perfumer. We started with the perfume for me, and it's a unisex perfume. That's why I've done it, and I love to do it. Maybe in future, in few months, we will do another one. I do something different. I collaborate with people.
I love this conversation because I love collaboration.
I stop really well, and if I like something again sour, I start to speak with people and ask who is producing this, and then I speak with people, and I find when I say at the same level, that means that nobody must be the slave of the other. So I asked, okay, can you make me 30 bags? How much you want? Okay, I give you the brochures. You do. It's a collaboration.
I had no idea that Florence is a perfume place.
Santa Maria Novella, it's the most famous place where they produce perfumes, and there were only them.
Okay.
And 2 more. Now, in the last 10 years, they grow up like mushrooms,
How did you get to perfume?
The perfume is because I desired to have to give a smell to my jewels. So I worked a lot to find a place that wasn't too big and not so small at the same time, that could make me a small production, repeatable, because I cannot, of course, order, make me 100 liters of perfume, So then we found a way to collaborate, and I choose the bottle. I've done
The top.
The cap.
The cap.
Yeah.
Where is it? Do you have it here at the shop?
Yeah, this is I don't know if
It's beautiful.
This is a cap, and this is the perfume, and the cap is not the jewels, of course.
So
I follow me if you don't like it, so.
I do like it. Yeah, but it's so different on you and me.
Of course.
Right? I mean,
it's
you
an
have a different...
amphibian. Because of the frog and because of the...
Yeah. Wow, it's beautiful. And it's heavy. The top. So talk to me about the packaging in this. Tell me what's going on.
The packaging, there is a black box, and...
Forgive my fingernails, everybody. I've been traveling in Italy.
I don't have the black box at the moment, but this is the bottle with the cap.
Yesterday I sold the last piece.
Of course, that when you finish the perfume, you are not going to throw the cap, and you keep the cap. And you can buy a recharge.
Another collaboration, and you said you spent a lot of time finding the people to work with for the perfume, because I feel like there's a lot of choices. Was this a difficult process for you?
When we choose this perfume, we were 5 persons, and they gave us about 30 different perfumes. After that, we told them what we wanted, what kind of spice we want. Now I don't remember, but at the same time, when we were 5 persons to choose it, and after and smelling coffee from one each time that you were smelling perfume, then
you got to do something else. This is custom, like nobody else has it, right?
No, I will do it.
Yeah, I hope so. And so the package design, typography, the font, the color, it's like raised. It's a raised surface on the label. What was your design process like?
No, company just gave us the different bottles, and which
just this part, right? And and you had to retrofit your top to the thing that they
had. We
have.
asked them for a wooden cap, and then we constructed the metal one around.
Oh, that's wood underneath.
This is one by one, because you have to carve it inside to fix the wooden cutting. Then you see even the plating, it looks a little bit different.
Yes,
but
every time.
It's not that you haven't done any progress, because every time it's a little bit different. But
you like that?
Yes, I love it.
It's important for you to have it. Totally, every piece is unique. What have you done once that you've never made another?
All of them.
I mean, I know there's variations, but...
Yeah, of course, I can make skulls, and skulls will never be one descent from the other. We can make frogs and but something that of course, but if you think that each piece is made around a different stone. So you will
Oh,
never
the piece
have,
of made your own stone.
you will never have, me la passeresti quella collana bianca
I
o
like
quella,
that.
o quella marrone? Sì.
So it's almost like the stone calls to you and tells you what to do or something.
Yeah. We speak to the stone, and the stone said, "Okay, I'm here." So this I don't know if this ciphering, si vede? So this ciphering is going to stay with this coil, and you will never do the same, because this is unique.
How do you choose the chain?
It depends on the shape of the necklace.
Okay, because the chains are
We
beautiful
have
too.
we have about 10 types of chains, and up to the if it's modern or old or classical or ancient, we change the chain.
So when you're branding, because I studied branding in school, right, when I went to college, and I noticed you have beautiful details even down to the little penny label and the beautiful font. Do you sort of have a standard now, or do you sort of still reinvent your branding experience, meaning the tags? Like your tag is always the same.
My tags, so the fact that I think it's more a story, funny story. When we were using white tags, common white tags. Once I was in a fair, I look at my stands, and it was all white.
And you didn't like it.
Full of white tags. I said, "No, it's horrible." And then when I came back in Florence, we started a small golden tag, the smallest one possible, because each piece is scattered. There is
The barcode.
barcode, but it was funny because my son was all whites, only cats, and of course we study in the possible all the details. The details are important. Anyway,
One of the things that entrepreneurs underestimate the amount of details that are required to run a business, right? Like you forget sometimes about all the things that you have to do, all the little steps, you know? I mean, it's one thing to create your idea, but it's another thing to think about, you know, employees, tags, supply chain, products, where do you get the stones? How do you source them? Where do I put the shop? Who do I have to meet with?
the side of creativity, you must do it. Otherwise, you are a pure artist, and you do one piece sometimes, and you must have somebody that takes care of you. In this case, you mix art and business, and you try to make a small brand. And anyway, if I think that this brand exists since 32 years, that means that maybe I haven't done so many mistakes. Maybe I've done about the 48% of mistake and the 50% really success. But it's the worst part when you have to think about it all. It's a sacrifice. You must, to be able to create, you must do all the rest. And but creating is the power that gives you the power to learn.
This has been so tremendous. Italian people are kind, they're creative, there's music. You walk into stores and there's a welcoming feeling. The restaurants, you know, there's mom and pops cooking in the kitchen at some of the restaurants, and it's just, you know, it's very different, and I really love it.
They're professional.
I know they're professionals.
They all have, even in the kitchen, they all have the influence of art. And Italy, it's separate. It's have arts inside.
Yes, in the veins.
Yeah, it's incredible. So even for a mechanician, he will repair you the tire of your car with art. I don't know how.
I actually have another question I forgot to ask you. You mentioned music, and when I was in here yesterday, there's a famous film director that used to come to your shop. You know?
It's one of the rare cases in the story of cinema when the music, you remember more the music than the making. He wasn't coming here. I had the chance to meet him because he was the uncle of one of my customers. And during the years, I discovered that he liked my cross. So he was buying or having from the nature my crosses, and he was a collector of my crosses. And then, in a lack of time, we started to a first call, for a phone call, a second phone call, one concert with, and he was calling me maestro. And when he was calling me maestro, I said, "Oh, maestro, me, you are maestro, no, maestro, maestro." And we were going on with this maestro. He was a beautiful person and a genius and very multiple.
I have chills.
Once he made main famous movies, Western anyway. Once upon a time in West, he would be bad in the ugly, once upon a time in America, Mission, and others. I don't remember.
Right. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And if there was one celebrity alive today that's living, that's, you know, who would you like to place one of your pieces on right now?
I don't know.
Anyone?
I know that some celebrities buy my jewels, but honestly, I'm not thinking. You know, I'm not to see who it is, and we have no sponsoring. We have nothing to do with them. If they buy it, it's because they love it, and sometimes you can see at TV. Oh, that's my makers. That's all. I am Giampiero Alcozer. And Leda will be here. She will welcome you, and you will be really surprised because it's a very nice shop. It's done with love, and all the jewels are really unique. And as soon as you touch them, you can understand.
Absolutely, 100% true. Thank you. Love you. Thank you. This is so amazing. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
The Honest Field Guide is produced by the team at Birk Creative, where brand and multi-channel strategies are designed to help you get attention, grow, scale, and keep up with the pace of change. The music on the podcast is written and performed by Utah Carroll. You can find their songs everywhere online to buy or stream. The opinions expressed on the Honest Field Guide are solely those of the hosts and guests.